Hi, thank you so much for joining me on my channel. This is Esther from Stampin' Star Creations. Tonight I am going to attempt, for the very second time in my entire life, a technique called the Northern Lights technique. I remember years ago seeing a programme on television starring Joanna Lumley, and she went to see the Northern Lights, and I think that was the first time I'd actually been introduced to them. Now, over the years, I've seen a few different videos and techniques with this done before, and for whatever reason, I've been a bit scared off by it, so I've just not tried it, avoided it. So I'm going to give it a go tonight and hopefully talk you through actually how simple it is and how undifficult it is. That's what I'm going to try and prove. So welcome there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel live. Sometimes once the broadcast goes out, you can't see the chat. I think it's on Apple devices, won't let you see the live chat. I think on some Android devices, if you press live chat, you can actually see the conversation that's going on. So I'm just going to try and set up on my other device so that I can see comments when I turn the camera around. Welcome to Steph, Deborah, Jeannie, Vanessa, Barbie, Vicky, Bev and Sue. Thank you for hopping on. Okay, I'm going to give a shout out to the lady who did a tutorial. Hi there, Tina and Kay. And her name is Kathleen. I'm going to turn the camera on so you can see her details. Her name is Kathleen, and her Facebook page is Stamp Cats Stamp, Scrap and Create page. Okay, and I saw a demonstration of her video, and like I said, I know other people have done this, but she made it look even more easier. I don't know, she made it look easy. She chose just 3 colours. I was like, oh, do you know what's putting me off? What's the worst that can happen? Surely it's not that difficult. Surely I can give it a go. So she made it so simple. I was like, I'd like to have a turn too. I'm not going to show you my first attempt. In fact, I'll show you that afterwards because I want to see what the difference is between my attempts. So I'm using Whisper White cardstock, excuse me, and using the lovely Snowfront stamp set again, which seems to keep coming out this season for me. And these are the colours I'm using. Now, she used Coastal Cabana, but I'm chucking in Bermuda Bay as well. I've got lovely lipstick, Gorgeous Grape and Night of Navy. These are all Stampin' Up colours, which can be found at my shop at stampinstarcreations.co.uk. Okay, I'd have noticed that when I do my live recordings, the quality isn't always the best, so I apologise in advance about that. It's probably just my reception and the fact that I'm going off a booster signal, so sorry. I'm going in with our Stampin' sponges, which come in a circle like this, but then it's easy to just chop them down into smaller shapes. Now, in theory, now this is my brand new mat and I don't want to get it all smudgy, so I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper. In theory, you just make smudges and marks on your paper. So I'm going to do that. Squeaky, squeaky. And try and be as random as possible. Now, 2 things I struggle with in stamping: simple stamping and being random when it comes to colouring. I could be random placing pearls and things like that, but when it comes to actually laying down colour, I struggle a bit to be a bit more random. So you can do streaks, you could do blobs, you could do marks. I don't think it really matters. Do you remember those pictures years ago as a child? Did you ever do those crayon pictures where you colour all over with crayon, with coloured crayon, and then you go over it in black? Have you done that? That's quite an exciting thing to do. I might just use this without adding any more colour and see where we go. I don't know what this is. This might be Coastal Cabana, I think. It's a bit of a mixed blue sponge. Now you can do streaks, you could do blobs. I don't like, each one is going to come out different depending on where you obviously lay the colour. I'm not worried too much about the edges because that gets really filled in with ink afterwards. I'm just going to add a bit of Bermuda Bay to add to that colour. I might try a different, another technique I've seen actually is when people have actually done stripes. While I'm here, I'm going to do a stripy one. I'm more of a stripe designer, see where we go. I like the idea of the colour kind of waving across the sky. Sorry, it's a bit joggy for you, isn't it, today? She says stripes and then she does something else. Very squeaky night tonight. I'm going to try and be less random, see what happens. See if it goes against my my instincts. I think it just kind of sometimes depends on the colour. So I've seen people using all sorts of different colours, using yellows and things like that. So this might look a hot mess, and you'll be right in thinking that, because this is why I'm scared to do this technique. I'm like, why does it look so messy? I can't cope with the mess. Anyway, you work with it and you follow the process and you keep going to the end until you get something that you like. It's not about giving up on the first hurdle. Plenty of Night of Navy ink, concentrating around the edges. Now, because this is such a smooth card, keep rubbing and the ink will just kind of start smoothing across the page. Okay, like I said, just trust the process of it. So we're really concentrating on those corners to give a nice vignette, is a technical term, vignette look. So like you would with if you were doing a particularly vintage, this is good for like a vintage feel. And I'm trying to like turn the corners if you can see. Hi Julie, welcome. Do let me know if this is your first time joining me, particularly if it's your first time joining me live. It's very exciting to have new people join live. You could probably tell from the accent, I'm from the UK. I've been a demonstrator for over 3 years now. I've been crafting for a much longer time than that, and particularly making cards. I do like making cards. I think because of the size, you can create something on a small space. I think sometimes where I go wrong with this technique is maybe not leaving enough white space. There might need to be more white space, but we shall see. Now you can go in with your blue and do, if you want to fill in some, give it a bit more mood, you can do that. Oh, Julie, welcome. It's the first time you're watching, and you're watching from Northeast Ohio in America. Can we do a time check? What time is it over there where you guys are, wherever you are? Give me a time check. We welcome you, Julie, and so does our lovely stamping community here. So I'm doing 2 in 1. I wasn't planning to do this, but I will. You can actually share the video if you want to. Once this goes onto YouTube, you can still share it out. So you might think, oh, that's cool, I want to give it a go. Yes, it's messy. Yes, it will take time and inks, but I think it's worth it in the end. So you want a nice dark, remember it's the sky, nice moody setting. So you kind of really do want to lay down that colour initially and make sure this bit is all done and you're happy with it before you go on to the next stage and do your stamping. 8:10. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? Is that because the clocks have changed? We're not so bad now. Okay, so as you might be able to see, these look similar but different. Okay, 2:09 in Colorado. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, which is just a black ink. And I'm going to be using, like I said, this stamp set here with it. And going in with the mountains first. I'm going fairly similar wrong one, that's the white. Fairly similar to what Kathleen did in her demonstration, and use the mountains. And this is where it starts all coming together. You think, oh, what on earth is that mess on there? But I think once you start adding in the scenery in the mountains, it really just makes it. Trust the process. That would be one of my mottos. Trust the process of what you're doing. And trust the stamps. Trust that, you know, it will work. Okay, I'm going to, with my mountain, I'm going to do another one. Oh, I can make a whole heap of these. Maybe let's go a little bit at an angle with these mountains and see what happens. We're going to go angled in with the mountains, have slightly different scenery, and we're going to do one up and down like that. Now I quite fancied having a path in my picture, so I'm going to do a path on one of mine. Can't see where I'm stamping. There we go. It's quite exciting. Or it could be a lake. It could be anything you want it to be, basically. Talking of lakes, I think I will add a lake to it. I promise you won't be kidnapped by YouTuber. Janice says, I could do this technique all day. It's such fun. The great thing is you never know what you're going to get. Well, you do. Hopefully you get northern lights out of it. But, oh dear. But, you know, depending on what colours you use, I just really like these colours because she took inspiration from an actual photograph. So I'm taking inspiration from what she's done. Now, there's a big lake in the middle of nowhere, so I'm going to add some... You could just scene build. This is the great thing about this stamp set. You can just keep building up the scenery, and it doesn't have to be for Christmas. This could be like something all year round. I'm going to add some trees so they don't around the lake. Come on, trees. Oops. Oh well. Not like that. Don't use those trees like that. Let's cover up our boo-boo. Oh, I got trees going off at funny angles now as well. I do like doing foreground stuff as well. Like if you put the trees right in the front, it looks like you're really part of the scenery. Barbie says, I'm still trying to figure out how to replicate fog. Maybe I should leave it to the professionals. Hint, hint. Oh, do you know what else I was going to do? Just to add that something. I've got some post-it notes here, which I'm going to just grab a couple because they're quite thin and I don't like going through the punches if they're too thin. And I'm going to get my circle as if it's going to come apart if I blow it. Okay, bend it, that's the best solution. And then you can take them apart. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is put the circle up there, bring back my navy and just go around it like that. So although we've already coloured in the background, this, oh, sorry, I really like that. It just creates that kind of moody moonlight. Okay, let's work on this one. Who doesn't like a bit of moody moonlight? Let's try that again. I like that. I'm going to put it more, well, I was going to say more centre, but it can't look right in the centre. It look a bit odd. Let's go around a bit more with this. I'm going to leave that there, leave you in suspense. Okay, again, we're going to come in with these trees, these nice big trees at the front here. I don't want to obscure that nice pathway because it draws the eye in nicely. I might just pop a couple of teeny weeny trees over the mountains a little bit. Not too much, just a few. You know, as if they're just growing out of the mountains, just growing out the mountains, you know what I mean? Add a bit of landscape to it. I think I'm done. I think I'm happy. Right, and then I will bring back my original in a second. Let's just shove these off to the side a minute. Oh, let's do the great reveal. Are you ready? Oh, I think the moon makes it. I like the moon. So that's the more kind of stripy one. I know, which one's the more stripy? I can't even tell. Well, they didn't end up stripy, did they? Because I went a bit rogue. Oh, I haven't finished yet. There's more. Wait, there's more. I have a top tip for you. Where is it gone? I've lost what I'm looking for. No. Oh, here it is. Right. Okay, I'll bring on my original, which is this one here. And Kathleen, in her demo, I just popped it on some cards so you get an idea of what it looks like mounted on Gorgeous Grape and then on Night of Navy, which really helps it to pop. She used a white marker to outline the hills, and I thought, oh, you don't need those. But actually, when you do put the white down, it does make a difference. So I've got our Stampin' Up! Chalk marker here. And if you just kind of line the hills a bit and just follow the lines of the stamps, I think it just really helps it to stand out. And I've just done like the tops of the trees a little bit. So it looks as if the light is shining on the trees. So it just helps it to pop. Just along the mountains. Just a hint of light falling. Actually, this should be from this side. Never mind. If you want to get technical, because of the where the moon's positioned. Right. How did I get my little white blobs on? I've got a reinker on its way to me, and that is ideal, like splattering dots on. But I was thinking, how on earth am I supposed to get white dots on without getting out? You know, you could use. There is a stamp in. Jeannie singing, don't get me singing. You could use these dots here, which is kind of simulates snow, but you know, with stars, which is the look I'm going for. You need it to be a little bit more sparse, spaced out. So I grabbed my, what do you call this? Pick up tool, something. Somebody can give me the official name, that'd be great. And this end here, is got like a putty. And excuse the dirty fingers, you use, and it's sort of like a sticky putty that's great for picking up embellishments and sequins and small bits and bobs. Anyway, so I've got my white ink here, my craft white ink, and I dipped it in and I went splat, splat, like that. And look, it's great for what I need it for. But look, now I'm being random. I'm not being too careful where I'm actually putting this. So I'm dipping it in each time because I found if you dipped it more than once, the colour fades too much. But if you just go like this, like I'm doing, dip, 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 dip. And this is not double speed. I'm actually live doing this in real time. It gets a bit addictive. There you go. And that creates your starlight. Or snow. It could be either or. Take your pick tool. Thank you. Is that what it's called? Take your pick. I always called it something else. Take your pick tool. I thought this was so cool. I kind of discovered it just this evening. I thought, I'm going to share that with you because I think it's so cool. Okay, I'm making it look a bit more like snow. So you're not going to get a really fine speckle with, say, a fine tipped white pen, but sometimes it's about being resourceful and using what you've got to hand to create something. And maybe it does look like snow, but that is fine with me. This could be I can't say what's the technical word for Northern Lights? Aurora something. I'd love to see them. Oh, that would be amazing, wouldn't it, to see them in real life? Okay, I'm going to stop there in case I go dotty mad. So look, they do look similar but different, don't you think? And that was just using like 3 or 4 colours. Technically 5. But I think, you know, once you've got a picture for reference, it really helps. Thank you. Now, how do I say that? Aurora Borealis. I said it. Did I say it right? Aurora Borealis. Makes it sound posher. The Northern Lights, doesn't it? Well, good afternoon, beautiful to you. Oh, you're not calling me beautiful. I thought that was good afternoon, beautiful. Oh dear, Sheila's just got on. Sheila, I've just finished. You might not want to see this, but you might want to head right back to the beginning. Oh, I said it right for once. I normally get my words all muddled and say something else that maybe I shouldn't be saying or something. Now, I do notice I get in the habit of whenever I put the camera back on me, I have to adjust myself in the seat and sit up. I'm sorry about that. I do realise that I do that. Am I sat on something on my chair? I said it perfectly. So for those on YouTube who haven't seen my flashing earrings, I'm just going to show you. Thanks. That's all I have to say. Oh dear, great to have your company again. I didn't think I'd be on so soon, but it is great to. I had to show you. I thought Kathleen on Stampcat's Stamp, Scrap and Create page made it look so easy. So if you want to see her demonstration, you might want to head over to her page. I'll leave that up for a second, so hopefully you can see that. That's Stampcat's Stamp, Scrap and Create page on Facebook by a lady called Kathleen. So you can really make it your own, just depending on where the ink lands. So I'm tempted to do this in a class now and see how the other ladies get on if they did it, because I'm sure, no doubt, like the Aurora Borealis, you know, you get all sorts of beautiful designs, and yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, on that note, great to have your company. Thank you for sticking with me, and hello on replay. Thank you, Ruth. I did Maureen, sorry. And hopefully I will come and see you again another time. Great to have you along. Thank you so much for your support over the year. I don't know if I will be on again before Christmas. Hopefully I will, because I've got a little bit of time off. But so what fun effect. Merry Christmas. Have a lovely holiday and see you in 2020. If not before, everybody, have a fantastic Christmas. Mwah. Thank you so much for your love support. Thank you particularly, a big shout out to those people who have supported me through my PayPal. You know who you are, and I want to thank you for that. Happy Christmas, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you again before actual Christmas. Take care if I didn't see you before then. God bless. Bye.